Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really zeroing in on the stories making headlines right now. We want to bring you a comprehensive look at what's happening across the nation and beyond.
Exactly. We've got a full briefing lined up, everything from, the IPL action, which has been pretty intense, to some crucial health developments, unfortunate accidents, societal challenges, and even some significant international moves.
Right. Let's get straight to it then. We've curated a selection of key news items trying to offer a snapshot of India's current landscape. We'll break down each story, give you the context.
Sounds good. So where do we start? IPL.
Let's kick things off with the Indian Premier League, yes.
Yeah.
Two matches recently delivered some pretty significant results. First, let's turn our attention to Jaipur. Royal challengers Bengaluru against Rajasthan Royals. The headlines definitely declared a big win for RCB.
That's right. A really dominant away performance from RCB. They beat Rajasthan Royals by 9 wickets and with 15 balls left, too. Pretty convincing at the Jallianwala Stadium.
So RR batted first.
Yeah, won the toss, chose to bat. They put up 173 for 4. Yeah, Jaiswal, he looked good, got 75. And Dhruv Jural added some useful runs late on. But reports suggest the pitch was maybe a little on the slower side.
Okay, and they had some fielding issues too, I read. Drop catches.
Yeah, that seemed to be a factor as well. Definitely didn't help their cause. Then when RCB came out to chase, well, it was quite something.
Virat Kohli, right, another milestone. His 100th T20 half-century. That's incredible. Puts him level with David Warner now.
It really is. Just phenomenal consistency. He anchored it perfectly, and then you had Phil Salt come in and really attack an aggressive 50 from him.
So that partnership basically sealed it.
Pretty much laid the foundation, yeah. Made it look comfortable. Devdutt Padikkal came in at the end, finished it off. They reached the target, 174 in just 17.3 overs. Only lost the 1 wicket.
And that's 4 away wins in a row for RCB now.
4 straight wins on the road.
Yeah.
It's pushed them up to 3rd in the table, which is, well, quite a turnaround for them. For Rajasthan, though, it's a bit of a setback. Drops them down to 7th.
Yeah, I saw Sanju Samson mention the fielding after the match. Said they needed to stay positive, but those errors, well, they cost them.
They really did. It just highlights RCB's strength away from home.
Yeah.
And maybe some struggles for RAR now to maintain that early momentum,
Definitely raises questions about consistency. Okay, let's move to the other big IPL game. Mumbai Indians versus Delhi Capitals. Played in Mumbai. This one had a different kind of drama, didn't it? Especially the one player.
Oh, absolutely. Karun Nair. His return to the IPL after, 3 years? It was spectacular. He smashed 89 off just 40 balls. Just breathtaking hitting, really. Even took on Bumrah.
Incredible innings. A really memorable comeback.
It truly was. But, despite Nair's brilliance, Delhi Capitals still fell short. Lost to Mumbai Indians by 12 runs in the end.
So MI batted first in this one.
Yep. MI put up 205 for 5. Pretty solid total. Got contributions across the board, really. Tilak Varma with 59. Ryan Rickleton got 41. And Surya Kumar Yadav smashed a quick 40. A good team effort with the bat.
And Delhi's chase, fueled by Nair, started really well, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. They were flying. 119 for 1 after 10 overs. At that point, you'd think they were well on track. Looked like they might just cruise it.
But then MI fought back.
They did. The bowlers staged a great comeback. Karn Sharma, the leg spinner, was key. He picked up 3 crucial wickets, 3 for 36. Really turned the momentum.
And getting Nair out must have been huge.
Absolutely critical. Mitchell Santner got him. And that seemed to, trigger a bit of a collapse for Delhi. They lost their way after that.
And Mumbai's fielding at the end? That hat-trick of runouts I heard about?
Yeah, unbelievable stuff in the penultimate overs. Just sharp, clinical fielding under pressure. That really slammed the door shut.
That's often the difference, isn't it? That performance in the death overs.
Exactly. Hardik Pandya praised the team's resilience, especially Karn Sharma's bowling. On the other side, Axar Patel for Delhi, he was pretty disappointed, mentioned soft dismissals and bad shots, felt they threw it away.
And Nair's innings, it's interesting, comes after that amazing domestic season he had. 9 centuries, wasn't it?
That's right, which made his exclusion from the Champions Trophy squad, quite surprising to many people. This innings just reminds everyone of his quality.
Yeah. So this match really showed MI's ability to claw back a win while maybe highlighting DC's consistency issues again. Okay, let's shift gears completely now. Away from cricket towards national health. The Apollo Hospital's Health of the Nation 2025 report is out, and it reveals some, quite concerning trends.
It does paint a rather sobering picture, unfortunately. One of the big things is the rate of undiagnosed conditions. Among those screened, 26% had hypertension they didn't know about. and 23% had undiagnosed diabetes.
Wow, those are really high numbers. Suggests a lack of awareness, maybe? Or access to checkups?
It points to both, likely. A significant chunk of the population seems unaware of these underlying conditions. And the report also flags non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD. Said 65% of those screened have it.
65%. That's huge and linked to urban lifestyles, right?
Exactly. Sedentary habits, diet, it's becoming a massive burden. Another worrying point is early atherosclerosis plaque buildup in arteries, found in 46% of people without symptoms.
So just waiting for symptoms might not be enough for cardiac care?
That's what it suggests, yeah. Proactive screening seems increasingly important for early detection. The report also looks at specific groups, like postmenopausal women.
What did it find there?
A really sharp rise in diabetes prevalence, from 14% up to 40% in that group, plus very high obesity rates, 86%, and widespread vitamin D deficiency, around 75%.
That highlights some serious vulnerabilities, nutritional gaps, maybe lifestyle factors.
Likely a combination. Hormonal changes play a role too, of course. Apollo points to poor diets and urbanization overall as major drivers. They're calling for, national efforts like food fortification, better public health education.
And it's not just older demographics, is it? Young professionals, too.
No, that's another key finding. People under 40 are showing more lifestyle diseases, diabetes, early heart issues. The report links it to, well, the usual suspects. Stress, sitting all day, poor diets. Even students are showing risks for prehypertension and obesity.
Really emphasizes the need for early awareness, doesn't it? Maybe integrating health tracking into schools or using digital tools?
Absolutely. And mental health is a big part of this too. The report notes growing concerns, especially among youth in big cities like Mumbai. Career pressure, tech overload, maybe lack of support systems, it all adds up.
So promoting mental health conversations and support is crucial.
Definitely. Early intervention in schools, workplaces, it's needed. On a slightly more positive note, the report does show that behavioral interventions work. Things like lifestyle changes can really improve HbA1c, blood pressure, weight.
Okay, so prevention and lifestyle adjustments can make a real difference.
Yes. It also mentions sleep deprivation and stress contributing to metabolic decline. So it's about a holistic view, not just physical checks, but sleep, stress management too.
Yeah.
And it touches on the corporatization of healthcare, aiming for better access, which is an interesting angle.
So the main message is prevention.
Pretty much. A big shift towards preventive care, regular screenings, strong public health campaigns, education, integrating health into schools, using tech. That's the call to action to tackle these worrying trends.
Right. Okay, now let's turn to a very unfortunate incident reported from Jodhpur. A police officer injured when an ambulance transporting other accident victims crashed itself. That sounds just awful.
It's a truly tragic sequence of events. Really highlights the risks involved in emergency transport. ASP Bhopal Singh Lakawat was seriously injured. The ambulance he was near apparently lost control, possibly due to brake failure.
And this was during a green corridor movement.
Yes, exactly. They had cleared the route to get victims of a previous accident to the MDM Trauma Center quickly. That's what makes it even more unfortunate.
And the ambulance itself was carrying injured people, including another police officer.
That's the really sad twist. It was carrying ASP Arvind Bishnoi, who was injured in that first accident in Baitu, along with the driver, Dilip, and a reader named Anil. So an emergency response turned into another emergency.
Just terrible. Where did the ambulance crash?
It reportedly hit ASP Lakwat near the trauma center entrance, then crashed into a glass wall. Apparently, it narrowly missed another senior officer, ACP Chavi Sharma.
What's the condition of those involved?
Well, ASP Bishnoi was moved to a private hospital. The driver Dilip and the reader Anil are at MDM. Anil's condition is reportedly critical, sadly, with a head injury. ASP Lakawat's injuries are described as serious.
Such a stark reminder of the dangers involved for everyone, responders included.
Absolutely. Eyewitnesses mentioned the brake failure possibly happening on a ramp near the center. Even though police had cleared the route, this mechanical issue had devastating results. Senior officers like IG Vikas Kumar and SP Ramurti Joshi went to the scene, visited the injured.
It really underscores the need for rigorous vehicle maintenance, doesn't it? And strict safety protocols.
It absolutely does. And it also speaks volumes about the dedication of these personnel working in high-pressure, risky situations.
Yeah.
Our thoughts are certainly with everyone injured and their families.
Indeed. Now, moving from that accidental tragedy to a very disturbing act of violence reported from Delhi. A teenager fatally stabbed, apparently due to a school rivalry. This is just heartbreaking.
It's incredibly grim. A 17-year-old boy killed in Govinkuri, southeast Delhi, allegedly by 3 other boys, all aged 16. The motive seems to be this long-running, intense rivalry between their schools.
Have the accused said anything?
Reports indicate they claim the victim had been repeatedly assaulting them physically and had even threatened their families. It suggests, a history of bad blood and maybe failed attempts to resolve it.
Where did the fatal incident happen?
Near Oakla State Road. Apparently, the victim had asked the accused to meet there, maybe to sort things out, but it turned violent instead. It's alleged one accused held the victim while the other 2 stabbed him multiple times. Stomach and neck injuries were reported.
And he couldn't be saved.
Tragically, no. He was rushed to Ames Trauma Center but died from his injuries. The police acted quickly, though. Apprehended the 3 suspects within 24 hours. They also recovered knives, suggesting it might have been premeditated.
And the victim's background.
Just adds to the sadness. A Class 12 student. His father's a construction worker in Kerala. His mother works as domestic help. Just a young life cut short. The accused 2 in Class 11, one a dropout, have been sent to a shelter home by the Juvenile Justice Board.
This kind of incident, it just screams for better conflict resolution in schools, doesn't it? And mental health support, addressing bullying.
Absolutely critical. Effective mechanisms are needed to handle these conflicts before they escalate to such horrific violence, fostering a safer environment for all students.
Okay, let's shift focus again, this time to energy and international relations. India seems to be increasing its energy imports from the U.S. What's the thinking behind this?
It looks like a strategic move with kind of a dual purpose. One is to help address the trade imbalance that exists between India and the U.S. The other is to strengthen that overall strategic partnership.
And GAL is involved, the gas company.
That's right. JL India is reportedly looking to take a significant stake, maybe up to 26%, in a U.S. liquefied natural gas, or LNG, project. Plus, they're negotiating a long-term gas supply contract, possibly for 15 years.
And this follows high-level talks.
Yes. Reports suggest this builds on discussions between PM Modi and the previous U.S. administration under President Trump. There was a clear intent expressed back then to expand energy cooperation.
Are we talking big numbers here in terms of purchase commitments?
Quite substantial, yes. India has apparently committed to boosting its U.S. oil and gas purchases from around $15 billion in 2024 up to $25 billion in the coming years. That's a pretty significant jump.
So what are the main drivers for India? Energy security.
That's a big part of it. Diversifying energy sources, reducing reliance on traditional suppliers from other regions. That's crucial for India's long-term security, especially with rapid urbanization and industrial growth needing more power.
And it helps with the U.S. trade deficit issue, too.
It does. That's been a talking point in bilateral discussions. Plus, natural gas is seen as a cleaner fuel compared to some others, so it aligns with India's goals for a more sustainable energy mix.
Seems like a win-win then. U.S. gets a big export market, India gets secure energy supplies.
That appears to be the logic, yes. It serves both economic and strategic interests for both countries. Really highlights how international energy deals can shape geopolitics.
It shows India being proactive, balancing its needs with global dynamics.
Absolutely. It's about navigating that complex global energy scene, securing what the country needs for development, while also managing those important international relationships. Could pave the way for more energy partnerships down the line.
Right. Now let's take a moment to reflect on history. The nation recently marked the anniversary of the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, a very solemn occasion.
Deeply significant, yes. April 13th, 1919. A day etched into India's memory. In Amritsar, British troops under General Dyer fired on that peaceful gathering in Jallianwala Bagh. People protesting the Rollout Act, unarmed civilians, hundreds tragically killed.
A truly horrific event, and the president and prime minister both paid tribute, didn't they?
Yes, President Murmu and PM Modi both shared messages honoring the martyrs, emphasizing their sacrifice, their courage against colonial oppression, and how that spirit continues to inspire.
It really was a turning point in the freedom struggle, wasn't it?
Absolutely pivotal. The sheer brutality shocked the nation, galvanized the independence movement like never before. It exposed the harsh reality of colonial rule and strengthened the resolve for self-determination.
And the memorial today serves as a powerful reminder.
It does. A testament to resilience, courage, and a constant reminder of the importance of justice, liberty, and ensuring such tragedies never happen again. The nation owes an immense debt to those heroes.
Okay, shifting now to a current situation causing concern in West Bengal. Reports of violence in Rashidabad district, forcing people to flee their homes.
Yes, deeply troubling reports emerging from Rashidabad. Clashes have apparently broken out, and initial indications link them to reactions around a new Waqf law that deals with religious endowments in Islam.
And there have been casualties.
Tragically, yes. 3 deaths reported so far, many injuries. And there's concern for 2 missing youths, Mizanur Rahman and Sulaimansek, possibly abducted during the violence. A 27-year-old man is also hospitalized with gunshot wounds. It sounds quite severe.
Are there specific areas badly affected?
Reports mention the Jatrabad area specifically. There's a heartbreaking account of a woman, Pampa Das, losing both her husband and father-in-law to mob violence there. The result is hundreds fleeing, mostly women and children, it seems.
Where have they gone?
Many have apparently crossed the Ganga River and found refuge in a school over in the Malda district. Even though new clashes haven't been reported immediately, there's still a lot of fear, understandably.
What are the authorities doing? We heard SP Ramurti Joshi's name mentioned earlier in Jodhpur. Is he involved here too?
Yes, the Jodhpur Rural SP Ramurti Joshi is mentioned as being among the authorities assessing the situation in Murshidabad as well. The focus for them now is clearly on ensuring safety, protecting residents, and restoring peace.
This really highlights the need to address communal tensions, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Ensuring safety for everyone, especially vulnerable groups, has to be the priority. It also shows the devastating impact this kind of violence has and the importance of community resilience and effective law enforcement in these situations.
Right. Let's loop back to the IPO again, but from a different angle. The business side. Apparently, the sheer scale of betting around the IPL is causing headaches for banks.
Yes, it's become this massive betting enterprise, hasn't it?
Mm.
And that means a huge volume of transactions, people placing bets, getting payouts. Banks are apparently finding it an operational burden just managing all these payments.
So, beneath the glamour, it's a serious business operation.
Very serious, especially for big players like Mukesh Ambani's conglomerate. They've invested billions in streaming, broadcasting, even using techniques like brain mapping for targeted advertising, apparently. It's highly sophisticated.
So the commercial side has impacts beyond just banking.
Oh, definitely. The report suggests implications for various sectors. It's this dual nature, isn't it? A huge cultural phenomenon, but also this massive economic engine. It really shows how sports, entertainment, and business are blurring together in India.
But that brings challenges too, right? Ethical questions.
Absolutely. With so much money involved, especially in betting, it raises logistical issues for banks, but also ethical concerns. There's a need for strong regulations ensuring fair play, managing the finances responsibly, considering the social impact of widespread betting.
It reflects a broader trend in sports globally, doesn't it? Commerce and competition getting harder to separate.
Exactly. The lines are increasingly indistinct.
Okay, staying with broader societal issues, N. Ram from the Hindu group has voiced some strong opinions on press freedom in India recently.
Yes, he spoke at the Puruma talks in Kannur. His main point was that, in his view, press freedom in India has been declining consistently since 2014. He was quite critical of the central government's actions, seeing them as assaults on freedom of expression, press independence, and civil liberties generally.
Did he give specific examples?
He did. He accused the government of using laws like anti-terror acts, sedition laws, other what he called draconian laws, to jail journalists, students, activists, often without bail or trial.
And he mentioned India's press freedom ranking.
Yes. Pointed out India is ranked 159th out of 180 countries on the World Press Freedom Index. He acknowledged the government disputes this ranking, but argued they haven't provided a convincing reason for the low position. He also brought up the Pegasus spyware allegations, illegal surveillance, calling it a gross violation.
Were there concerns about recent laws too?
Yes, specifically the Digital Personal Data Protection Act and the proposed Broadcasting Services Regulation Bill. His concern is that these are designed to police and censor digital platforms.
Which are becoming more important for journalists, right, as print faces challenges.
Exactly. As journalists move online, these new laws present potential new ways to target them. So NRAM's call was really for collective action to protect democratic values and press freedom, especially given the economic pressures on traditional media, too.
A call to uphold those principles. Okay, now for some potentially good news on the technology front. India successfully tested its first high-energy laser weapon. Yes, this is a significant development from the Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO. They've successfully tested their indigenous MKII, Directed Energy Weapon, or DUW system, a big step in advanced weaponry.
What can it do? What are its capabilities?
It's designed to destroy targets like drones, surveillance sensors, even fixed-wing UAVs. It generates a 30-kilowatt laser beam, powerful enough to burn through drone structures or blind their sensors.
And is it ready for deployment?
DRDO expects induction within about 2 years. They're also planning technology transfer for wider production. This current version is land-based.
Are there plans for other versions, air or sea-based?
Yes, the ambition is definitely there. DRDO aims to develop higher power versions with greater range for deployment on airborne platforms, ships, maybe even satellites eventually. The recent tests apparently showed good precision and effectiveness at ranges over 3 kilometers.
How does it work?
Technically.
The MKIA uses 6 high-energy lasers that are converged into one powerful beam. Interestingly, they already have a smaller 2-kilowatt version deployed for shorter-range tasks.
So India joins a select group of nations with this tech.
That's what the DRDO chief, Samir V. Kamad, highlighted. He emphasized how important laser tech is for modern defense. It really reflects India's push for self-reliance and advanced capabilities in a complex security world.
Okay, back to economic matters. There's a study suggesting India's wealthiest might be underreporting their income, with implications for the tax system.
Yes, a paper by Professor Ram Singh, director of the Delhi School of Economics. It's titled, "Do the Wealthy Underreport Their Income?" And it argues that because of significant underreporting by the rich, India's personal income tax system might actually be effectively regressive.
How did he reach that conclusion? What data was used?
Professor Singh apparently looked at several sources: declarations from election filings, the Forbes list of wealthy Indians, and official income tax data from the CBDT. He compared these different data sets.
And found discrepancies suggesting underreporting.
That's the core argument, yes. If true, it would definitely skew how we see the tax system's progressivity and, well, wealth distribution overall. It feeds into that ongoing debate about tax fairness, especially alongside concerns about the GST being regressive.
So it points to a need for a more equitable system and tackling tax evasion.
That's the main thrust. The study underscores the challenge of ensuring the wealthy pay their fair share and how that impacts economic inequality. It basically calls for a reevaluation of tax policies, aiming for more transparency and accountability among top earners.
Trying to achieve a more just, balanced system.
Exactly. It highlights potential systemic issues in the tax framework and why policy reforms are important for a fairer economy.
Okay, final headline for today. This concerns the Hajj pilgrimage. Saudi Arabia has reportedly cut the quota for private tour operators from India quite significantly.
Yes, that's the report. An 80% reduction in the quota allocated to India's private Hajj operators. It's caused a lot of concern, understandably, both for pilgrims who plan to use these operators and for the operators themselves.
Has there been any political reaction in India?
Yes, PDP chief Mehbooba Mufti called the move abrupt and urged India's Ministry of External Affairs to intervene with Saudi authorities. Hajj is, of course, a hugely important pilgrimage for Muslims worldwide.
And Indians participate through the official Hajj committee or these private operators, right?
Correct. Earlier this year, India had secured a total quota for both channels combined of 175,025 pilgrims for 2025.
Yeah.
So this cut specifically to the private operators is causing distress for those who booked through them.
Do we know why Saudi Arabia made this decision?
They've cited new crowd control measures. Apparently, restrictions involving certain visa types are being applied to 14 countries, including India, to prevent unauthorized people joining the pilgrimage. Importantly, though, those who already have valid Hajj visas are reportedly unaffected.
So it highlights the need for communication between the two governments.
Definitely. Balancing access for this vital religious duty with the huge logistical challenge of managing the Hajj requires constant coordination. The MEA's role in resolving this will be crucial to address the concerns of those affected.
A delicate balance indeed. Managing logistics while ensuring equitable access. Hopefully, a resolution can be found.
Let's hope so. Minimizing the disruption for the pilgrims is key.
And finally, let's end on a positive sporting note. The Indian men's recurve archery team won silver at the World Cup Stage 1.
Yes. Great news from Florida. The team Atano Das, Diraj Bomadavara, and Tardon Deeprai performed really well to reach the final. They lost out to a strong Chinese team, 1-5, in the gold medal match, but silver at this level is still a fantastic achievement.
How did the final go?
It started close, tied the first set, but an unfortunate stray shot from Atano in the second set apparently cost them, and China took control. India couldn't quite pull it back in the third, despite China dipping slightly.
But getting to the final itself is impressive. How did they get there?
They beat Spain quite convincingly in the semifinals, 6-2. And adding to the success, Idiraj Bomadovara won an individual bronze medal as well.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, after losing his semifinal to the eventual champion from Germany, Florian Ondro, Idiraj showed great resilience to win the bronze match against Spain's Andres Medial, 6-4. That's his third individual World Cup stage medal.
So a really strong showing overall for Indian archery.
Absolutely. Shows growing strength and potential on the world stage. Idiraj's individual medal, the team silver, it highlights the skill and mental toughness of these archers. Very promising for the future.
Definitely inspiring for younger athletes, too.
For sure. It cements India's growing reputation in international archery.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into today's headlines. We've really covered a lot of ground, haven't we? From thrilling sports action in the IPL and archery.
To those quite sobering health statistics, social issues like the violence in Rashidabad, the concerns around press freedom, technological advancements, international relations.
Yeah.
Quite a mix.
It really underscores how interconnected everything is, doesn't it? These seemingly separate events all weave together to shape the world around us.
Indeed. A sporting result, a health report, a diplomatic move, an accident. They all have ripple effects. It's fascinating and sometimes concerning to see how it all unfolds.
So as you, our listeners, reflect on everything we've discussed today, maybe think about this. Which of these stories stood out most to you? Which one makes you want to dig a bit deeper and find out more?
Yeah, we definitely encourage you to keep exploring these topics independently. There's always more to learn.
Thank you for joining us on The Deep Dive.